morning. Welcome to class 8 Civics class. Today we will continue the discussion where we had left the discussion. In the previous class we had discussed the definition of constitution and why do we need it. Two things that we had discussed. One was the definition of constitution and the another was the why a country needs constitution. We have already discussed that we people have the constitution knowingly or unknowingly, even at our home. We have to go through the many rules and regulations at our home also. Since we are going through many rules and regulations at our home, so we can say it was also the part of constitution because it is a part of law. In school, in playground, if everywhere some rules has been imposed simply to run a country, there might have been some rules. These collections of rules are called the constitutions. We have discussed it. Now, in today's class, we will discuss what are the features of constitution. We will discuss one by one the features of Indian constitution. First feature of Indian constitution that we will discuss, it is federalism. Federalism means it is a type of government which exists in more than one level. More than one level of government, it is called federalism. In India, after independence, we had the two levels of government. The two levels of government, it was the central government and the state government. Now, after 1993-94 onward, after 1993-94 onward, we had another level of government that was implemented. It was the local self-government. We had the local self-government, but we will talk about the first two levels of government, the central government and the state government. Why our constitution makers were making the constitutions? They had borrowed the idea of constitution. They have taken the help from the constitution of other countries also for making the federalism. Federalism can be technically in the two groups. Technically, one is pure federalism, another one is quasi-federalism. What does the quasi-federalism mean? This is a type of federalism in which power has been divided between the central government and the state government, but the central government has given more power. If we analyze, we find that the Indian federalism is a quasi-federalism. This idea of quasi-federalism, where power has been divided between the central government and the state government, we have taken it from the Constitution of Canada. This idea we have taken from the Constitution of Canada. Idea we have taken from the Constitution of Canada. It is mentioned in our Constitution. If you go through the article 246, because Indian Constitution had article 395 articles. If you go to the article number 246, we find the power has been divided between the central government and the state government. This power has been divided between the central government and the state government. How power has been divided? All the subject on which law is to be made, it has given its importance. One, which has the importance of the national level, then local level. So we have divided it into the list. You can say union list. Then we have state list. Then we have concurrent list. Union list contains the subject which has the national importance. All the subject which has the national importance. Subject contains, it has 97 subjects. If we include the sub-subject, then it becomes 100, but main subjects are 97. Example के लिए, if we say how many articles are there in Indian constitutions? In Indian constitution, the total article is 395. Because last article is written 395, it says it is the end of the Indian constitution. But if we add it, including the sub-articles, then the number of articles will go around 448. That's why in union list 97 subjects are mentioned. If we add the sub-subject, its number will go up to 100. But which subjects are mentioned in the union list? All the subjects which has the national importance. What subject has the national importance? Armed forces, means defense. Defense has the national importance. Then we have the foreign affairs. Foreign means foreign policy. What type of relations we have to keep with the other countries. Then subject related to United Nations. Who will make the law? Central government will make the law. Then we have the banking. Then we have insurance. Then we have rail. Then we have taxes. Means all the subjects which has defined that it has the national importance, it is included in the union list. It means the subjects which are mentioned in the union list, only the union government, means the central government, can frame the laws. Then we have the state list. All the subject which has related to the local level. Besides the local level subject, it is now 66 in number. Earlier it was 67, now it is 66 in number. Why the number has reduced? Number has been reduced because one subject has been transferred from the state list to the concrete list. A state list contains 66 subjects. It means all the subjects which are mentioned in the state list, only the state government can frame the law. Central government or union government has no any say in the law making of the subject mentioned in the state list. कोई interfere नहीं करेगा. For example, if we say the agriculture, if we say the forest, agriculture is there, then we have the forest is there, then we have another things, intoxicating liquors. Intoxicating liquors means जो नशा होता है. Intoxicating liquors. It depends on the state government whether they continue or not continue. In some state, the liquors, that is called wine and beer, intoxicating many things, it has been banned by the state government. But in some states, it is not banned. In some states, it is banned. In some states, it is not banned. Central government cannot do anything on it because it is a matter of the state list. It means all the subjects which has the local importance has been kept under the state list. The two lists are. Third is concrete list. Now it has 47 subjects. Subject mentioned in the concrete list, both center as well as the state government can frame the law. Both center and state. Suppose you may ask, if both has made the law, then what will happen? In the case, if both center and the state government has made the law on the same subject, then the law made by the central government would be applicable. It means here central government has more power. That's why in starting I told you that it is a quasi-federalism. In quasi-federalism, central government has been given or assigned to more power. The subject that has been transferred from a state list to congruent list. The subject which has been transferred from the state list to congruent list. It is your education. Education. Education earlier was the matter of state list. Now it is a part of central list. It means these things, if the marriage and divorce come, it also becomes the part of congruent list. The subject has been classified on the basis of their importance. It is a part of either union list, or it is a part of state list, or it is a part of congruent list, where this has been divided. If you want to say, you can say that it has been mentioned in Article 246 of the Indian Constitution that the power has been divided among the central government and the state government. By seeing this list, it is confirmed that union has more power than the state government. That's why in the beginning we have discussed that India is not the complete federalism, it is a quasi-federalism. In quasi-federalism, power has been divided, but more power has been assigned to the central government. These were the first features of the Indian Constitution. Now we will discuss the another features of the Indian Constitution. Second feature is the parliamentary form of government. The second feature of Indian Constitution is the parliamentary form of government, and this type of government we have taken. This idea has been taken from the Constitution of UK, United Kingdom. In the parliamentary form of government, the head of the state may be either a king or queen or a president. I am not talking about the democratic. I am talking about the parliamentary form of government. In the parliamentary form of government, there are the two heads. One is the head of the state, another one is the head of the government. Head of the state in the parliamentary form of government may be either king or queen or the president. If we compare the India as well as the United Kingdom, we find in the United Kingdom the head of the state is right now queen. But in India, the head of the state is president. But head of the government is the Prime Minister, who has the real power, we can say who has the real authority, real head. Parliamentary form of government in India, it is bicameral. It is bicameral in nature. Bicameral in nature means it has the two houses. What are the two houses of the parliament that we have? The two houses of parliament are, one is, that is the upper house or Rajya Sabha. Another one is lower house or low Sabha. Upper house Rajya Sabha, lower house Lok Sabha. Upper house and lower house. Upper house, the member of the upper house are elected for a term of 6 years. These members are elected for a term of 6 years. Second thing is that we find that the upper house is the permanent house, it do not get dissolved. It is a permanent house. It do not get dissolved. Continuous way. After each 2 years, 1/3 of the member, 1/3 of the total members get retired, and the elections are being taken. And then being the another qualifications, the minimum age for this one is 30 years. Lower house, they are elected for a term of 5 years. It gets dissolved after the completion of 5 years. As soon as their term is completed, it gets over. Minimum age, it is 25 years. In contest, the member of lower house for Lok Sabha, the minimum age is 25 years. How many members are elected? For upper house or Rajya Sabha, it is 233 plus 12. 233 plus 12, it means 233 are elected and 12 members are nominated by the president from the different fields. It is your arts, it is your sports, it is your culture, it is your history. For different backgrounds, eminent persons are simply nominated by the president. So 233 are elected and 12 are nominated. The total strength is 245. In lower house of Lok Sabha, the elected people are, it is 543. You may say sir, plus 2, though Anglo-Indian, if the Anglo-Indian representation is not there, in that case, president may nominate the 2 members belonging to Anglo-Indians, but they are getting it. So elections are being taken only for 543 members. In the parliamentary form of government, one thing has been divided. It is legislative and executive. Legislative are the elected members and executive are the council of ministers. Legislative, elected, if we say in the both the house, this one and this one we added, these are the elected representatives. and executive the Council of Ministers. One more thing it is in the parliamentary form of government is that the executive is answerable to the parliament or legislature. Executive is answerable in the parliamentary form. But in the presidential form of government, that is in USA, it is not applicable. Executive is not answerable. But in the parliamentary form of government, one of the basic features of the parliamentary form of government is there that the executive is answerable to the legislature. That means we have discussed another feature of the Indian Constitution. Before I just conclude it, you may ask, sir, is it mentioned somewhere in the Constitution? Yes, it is mentioned. It is mentioned at the Union Government. Article 74 and Article 75. And state government 163 and 164. What does the Article 74 says? Article 74 says there will be the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. Prime Minister and Council of Ministers who would give the advice and assist the President in their working, because all the work is done in the name of the President. It is mentioned Article 74 that the Prime Minister, there would be Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. And Article 75 says that Prime Minister, PM, would be appointed by the President. Prime Minister would be appointed by the President. In the same way, in Article 163, in the state, there would be Chief Minister and Council of Ministers. There would be CM and Council of Ministers, and CM would be appointed by the government. Article 74 and 75 related to the central government. Article 163 and 164 is related to the state that we have discussed. Now we will discussing the another features. Separation of power. Separation of power between the legislative, executive and judiciary. This idea we have taken from the Constitution of US. This idea we have taken from the Constitution of USA. Our legislative, three groups, organs of the government, legislative, executive and judiciary. Elected members whose main duty is to frame the laws. Executive has the two powers, two groups. One is the political executive, another one is the permanent executive. Political executive are also called the temporary executive. Means councils of ministers comes under the temporary executive or the political executive. Why they are called the temporary executive? They are called temporary executive because simply their portfolio may change. Whether the next time after the completion of 5 years the same people's, same party would continue and same people would hold the same post is not sure. During the tenure of 5 years of a government, the portfolio of a person may change. So one who is a particular minister may not continue either the same ministers after few months, few years. It means their portfolio keep on changing. Maybe, may not be ministers. That's why it's called temporary executive. And the judiciary, all the court system in a country is combinedly called the judiciary. Now Article 50. Article 50 separate judiciary from the legislative and executive. Article 50 comes under the directive principles of the state policy. Directive principle of the state policy is actually a guideline to the state government. They should try to separate the judiciary from the legislative and executive. The separation of power is further mentioned in Article 105. Power has been divided among all these three groups, that is, one legislative who makes the law, another one executive who implement the law. Executive is the part of legislative, executive is answerable to legislative, and judiciary see the law that has been framed whether it is according to constitution or not. In another term, this separation of power is also called check and balance. Check and balance तीनों एक दूसरे पर कहीं न कहीं अंकुश लगाया हुआ है. How? This group makes the legislative. In legislative, it is not only the ruling party; it has the opposition party also. Opposition party may ask and raise the question, and if the executive or the ministers or council of ministers fail to give the answer, then the whole ministry have to resign. It means executive is answerable to legislative. Prime Minister comes under this one, but legislative it is combination of ruling party as well as the opposition party. This judiciary is appointed by the head of executive, means president. But even the president cannot remove. Judiciary can be removed by the legislature. And judiciary what can do? It can make the laws framed by legislative null and void. Legislative कानून बनाया, executive ने उसको implement किया, judiciary ने देखा whether the law that has been framed it is according to constitution or not. If they find it is not according to the constitution, then they make it null and void. लगता है पावरफुल हो गया है जुडिशरी. Executive appoint judiciary means judiciary is appointed by the president and president cannot remove it. तो यहाँ लगता है कि जुडिशरी तो सबसे ज़्यादा पावरफुल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन नहीं, जुडिशरी कैन बी रिमूव्ड बाय लेजिस्लेटिव. ऐसा clause according to it, judiciary can be removed by the legislature. It means these features we have got regarding the federalism, federal type of government. Then we have the parliamentary form of government. Then we have the separation of power. Another feature of the Indian Constitution, it is fundamental rights. These fundamental rights are mentioned Part 3 of the Indian Constitution from Article 12 to Article 30. Part 3 of the Indian Constitution from Article 12 to Article 30. One features that we have discussed while we are discussing importance of Constitution. In that point we have discussed what is the importance of Constitution. We have discussed that it contains a chapter on the fundamental rights. Now, what are the fundamental rights? Fundamental rights are the rights, those rights which is considered very necessary for the overall development of a people, of a person. This overall development, the rights which are approved by society, all those rights which are approved by society means society thinks that it is necessary for the overall development of a person and it is guaranteed by Constitution. In summarized form, we can say all those rights which are approved by society and guaranteed by constitutions are called fundamental rights. Now we are just giving you which are the fundamental rights. First, fundamental rights. Rights to equality. All are equal. It is mentioned in Article 14 to 18 of the Indian Constitution. As name says, all are equal before the law. It is mentioned in this one. If you go through it, you will find untouchability has been abolished. It was considered a black spot on the Indian society. Parliamentary form of government has introduced the constitution and constitutionally it has been banned. It is mentioned in Article 17. It comes under the 14 to 18. All have equal opportunity in government offices. That's many things. Then we have rights to freedom. It is Article 19 to 20. Rights to freedom, we have the right to speech and expression. We have the right to speech and expression. We can assemble, we may form the unions, we may form the political parties. Condition is that we are assembling that it should be without arms. We can go anywhere and settle down. We can occupy on any occupation that we think it is suiting us. It means it comes the rights of freedom. Then next is right against temptation, 23 and 24. Rights against exploitations means child labor, human trafficking. This all has been banned. Means children below the age of 14 years cannot be appointed in a factory or in any dangerous work. It is right against exploitation. Then we have also rights to freedom of religion. It means if you go through it, you will find that we have the rights to accept any religion we wish, participate in the religious affairs, promote our religions. It means if we want to change our religion, we can change it. These all rights are mentioned. Elaborate discussions we will do in another video about only the fundamental rights, which is very important for the next class also. Then we have another rights. Cultural and educational rights. Minority groups have the rights to protect their religion. DAV, Dhyan Anglo-Vedic Vidyalaya. It is established by the Arya Samaj. Since they are in minority, so they have the right to promote their religions. It comes under cultural and educational rights. And rights to constitutional remedies. It is mentioned in Article 32. Rights to constitutional remedies. Article 32. B.R. Ambedkar, the chairman of drafting committee, has shown this right is the soul of Indian Constitution. भारतीय संविधान की एक आत्मा है. According to it, we may make a change in the Constitution. One rights by the 44th Amendment 1978. Rights to property, which was a fundamental right, has been cancelled. Now it is only the rights to property, which was a part of fundamental rights. Now it is not the part of fundamental rights. It is only a legal right. From where? From 1978, by the 44th Amendment, it has been changed. It means you have only legal rights. These are the fundamental rights which are mentioned in our constitution. One more is there. Secularism. Secularism means a state do not have its own religion. All the religions are treated equally. This word, actually two words, the secular and socialist. Secular and were added to Indian Constitution in 1976 by 42nd Amendment of the Indian Constitution. What is the meaning of secularism and what is the idea? We will discuss it in elaborate form in the next chapter, that is Indian secularism. But a little bit idea is that a state do not have any institution that would promote a particular religion. They cannot promote any particular religions in any of the government institutions. We cannot find an image related to a particular religion are found in any of the institutions run by the government. न हिंदू धर्म का, न इस्लाम का, न सिख का, न क्रिश्चियन का, न आर्य समाज का, किसी का भी कोई भी ऐसा सिंबल हमको नहीं मिलेगा, चाहे पुलिस ऑफिस हो, गवर्नमेंट स्कूल हो, इस समय नहीं मिलेगा। फोटो है वो, किनका पिक्चर मिलेगा? द नेशनल लीडर्स। वी हैव द पिक्चर ऑफ नेशनल लीडर्स। वी एंजॉय ऑल द फेस्टिवल्स। गवर्नमेंट और central government or state government greets the peoples on all the festivals, whether it is of Hinduism or Islamic or the Christians or the Sikhs. So India is a secular state. The word secular and socialist were added to the Indian Constitution. I do hope till now you have got the idea of what are the features of Indian Constitution. Now this chapter is finished. Thank you.